Hello and welcome to Make It Monday. It's Beck here from Hello, my name is Beck, and we are popping in today to make a sympathy card. I've chosen these two blues because I think that they are lovely and subtle, and when it comes to sympathy cards, we don't really want bright colours, so I've gone with the speckled egg and faded jeans here, and so these are the two colours that I am just using for the background of this card. I am using the ink smushing technique where you use water and the dioxide inks to place on a card. I have a silicone mat here that I have turned over, so the silicone mat has sort of a nice matte side to it and a glossy side to it. I'm using the glossy side just here. I put some more speckled egg down to get more of the lighter blue colour on the background, and then I'm just mopping up the faded jeans in the corners of the white panel piece. So I just clean my mat and move that out of the way. I have this really lovely die cut just here, and I am just running it through with white. So I'm showing here, this is for Emma, so I have my cutting plate and my cutting, like it's a really big thick plastic for the Cuttlebug, and then I have the clear one on top. So I always cut into one of my plates and not the other, so that if I want to I can purchase another set of plates, but only have to use one of them each time to cut into. So I've done two white of the leaves here, and then I'm doing a vellum. You do see that I do have baking paper in between each of them, because it's delicate die cut. The baking paper means that the die cut doesn't stick inside the die, and it's not then hard to get it out. It means that the baking paper actually prevents the actual die cut from sticking inside the die. So I'm using this one here as a solid. I use my glue and I make sure to use the glue on all of the leaf, the inside and the edge, so that when I stick it down it has the solid leaf inside the die cut, because I haven't popped any of the internal leaf out. And then I'm using the vellum here on top of that, and then the next die cut I pop out all the little white centers to be able to have the outline of the leaf. So I think it really turns out quite effective. The reason I am making a sympathy card is my friend Cheryl has lost her husband. She lost her husband last week, and just very sad for her at this time, and I wanted to let her know that I was thinking about her. So so Cheryl is part of the sisterhood. She comes to retreat regularly with the girls, and so our friend Mary has gone out and made a hamper of goodies for Cheryl from the girls, but I wanted to send a little something as a card as well, from just personally from me, to say that I'm thinking of her. So the glue that I've added to this one, I have only added to the stem and the bottom part of the leaves, so that the leaves do stand up. And then I am just using my tweezers here just to lift up the vellum leaves. I did glue them down, but only with one dot, and it doesn't actually damage the paper underneath. So I've left some of the vellum leaves looking down. That stamp set there said "You are on my mind," but I really wanted to go with more of a sympathy card. So this is my only stamp that says sympathy. So I'm just going to use some spare white cardstock here to stamp onto. Just using my mini Misty stamping platform here, and I am popping this one down. So it says "with sympathy and love." I do pull it off to the edge so that I can stamp it down, and watch the way it stamps. The first stamping I wasn't happy with. I think I had a couple of threads or a couple of sort of cotton pieces on the actual stamp itself, and they left little tiny dots around the stamp. So you will see, I will show you this stamping and then the next stamping, but I do jump ahead and show you so this is me stamping it twice again for the other one. And then I'm popping the ink away, but I do show you in a second the two versions. So you've got the first version has lots of little dots around the S, and then this one here doesn't have any dots around the S. So I'm just using the better of the two, and I'm gonna just trim this down so that it fits nicely on my card. Now I was planning to just put this on my card as it was, but I needed, I felt that I needed a coloured background behind the actual Sympathy, or the white of the Sympathy itself, because I felt that it got lost on the white leaves. So you'll have to tell me what you think, but I think I do show you here that I sit it on and I feel that it just gets lost. It's not standing out enough. So I decide that I need a coloured background. Now I was thinking to myself, do I look through all my coloured cardstock or do I make my own? So I'm just using the Faded Jeans, which is the darker of the two blues that I've used on the background, and I'm just literally coating the corner of this white cardstock. I do let it dry. And then obviously by the power of editing, you don't see me have to let it dry. I'm just popping it into my guillotine now using the little tiny Sympathy. I haven't stuck it down because I don't want to ruin it. I'm just using that to make a little tiny edge around. So I then get my double-sided tape and stick that down onto the blue. Now I do think the blue had a little sort of diagonal line there, so I do straighten it up here and just chop off the little bit of diagonal. So then I pop it back on the card and I feel like it's better. I feel like it's standing out more. So I'm coming in with foam tape here, popping that down onto the card, and so making 3 lines of foam tape so that the sentiment doesn't sag in any of the places. It's not a thick cardstock that it's on. So that is the top of the card, and so I'm just going to use my double-sided tape here to pop that on. I was just pointing out the fact that the actual card is warped. Now that's because I think it's only 80 grams or 80 GSM, so it does warp with the water from the original ink smooshing. So I am using a lot of double-sided tape here so that I can flatten it out on the card base. So using my technique of my double-sided tape, I'm positioning the other sides of the card where it's not sticky, and then I hold it and then pull out each one of the strips one at a time. So you see me holding it, putting pressure down, and then I use the other 3 tapes and pull those out one by one down, and then just slowly working my way across and pushing down the top of the card so it flattens out really nicely. So I do have a little tiny edge there that I do trim off with my guillotine. It's just a thicker edge than I have left around the rest of the card base, so I'm just going to trim that off with my guillotine, and then the card looks absolutely perfect as it is. So finishing touch, I did think about adding these little blue pearls, but then I had these little diamantes and I put them just around the leaves, not anywhere in the sort of the blank space, just around the edges of the leaves, just to add a little tiny finishing touch. I think it takes it to just the next level. I count there that I've got 7, but I feel like I need another 2 more, so I do quickly grab another 2 more. I was planning on giving up with 7, but then I go with 9 because you have to have an odd number. Odd numbers are better to the eye, or nicer to the eye apparently. The brain likes odd numbers. So I will finish here. I'd like to let Cheryl know that I'm thinking of her, sending her lots and lots of love. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Lots of crafty love from me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.